In other tech news regarding Waymo, which is the robotaxi service that is operating in specific cities throughout the United States, but they are looking to expand their services around the country and even internationally. And this is a driverless taxi system, which is looking to compete with and potentially even replace, Uber, Lyft, and all the rideshare services where they pretty much outsource drivers to pick people up. I'm sure if you've gone out somewhere and you need to get somewhere and you're worried about driving, if you plan on going to a party and drinking, I'm sure most of us here have used an Uber or Lyft before. But Waymo is not much different, except for the very big difference in that there is no driver behind the wheel. It is driving itself 100% like robotically, and which I think will end up be the future, but not yet. It's still in the very early stages. Like I said, they're only operating fully in 6 cities throughout the United States. Of course, you have Atlanta, Austin, Los Angeles, Miami, Phoenix, which is where it started, and San Francisco in the Bay Area. And, they're continuing to expand. Like I said, they're aiming to do so many, like millions and millions of rides in 2026 and essentially open it up to, I think, 20 additional cities starting this year. But since they've expanded to 6 main cities, they said that they have been averaging around 400,000 rides per week. And in 2025 alone, they did 15 million rides reportedly in the United States. But regardless of that, they have one fatal flaw currently, and that is open doors. And I'm not making this up. A DoorDasher on Reddit made a post last week where he got an offer for $6.25 to drive a little less than a mile, 0.7 miles, to report, and I quote, close a Waymo door. And there was no pickup or delivery required, obviously. He literally just had to get in his car, drive to the Waymo, which had his door open, and close it. And he would get paid $6.25. Granted, they were offering an extra $5 for verified completion, which I guess they got to coordinate that and communicate that to Waymo that the door is now closed and it can resume operations. And so he essentially made $11.25. Not sure if he actually took the offer to go do that. I mean, I would, just if it's down the street, you paid, $11 to just go close the door. I mean, who would turn that down, But some of the comments are really funny. I was reading through them. They said that the person who got the offer, who was on the DoorDash Reddit, actually door dashed, if you get that. But Waymo and DoorDash, their partnership, they have confirmed that this is a very real problem for the Waymo robotaxis. And they said that in Atlanta specifically, they were running a pilot program to enhance the efficiency of their autonomous vehicular fleet. And in the rare event that there is a door that is left open from a previous passenger in the Waymo, they said that nearby door dashers are notified in this case, which is exactly what happened, so that they can go and close the doors and get compensated for it so that the Waymos can resume operations and get back on the road quickly. And I think this is only a temporary issue, and this was confirmed again by Waymo, where they said future automated doors will be able to close themselves. So I don't see this being a long-term issue, although short-term, if you're a DoorDasher in a city where Waymo operates, you could make a couple, bucks here and there just from closing the doors. So again, I don't see this popping up a lot. I think it's more like an isolated thing. But again, this is just another way to make a little bit of extra cash if you are in a big city with Waymo operations. But the partnership specifically between Waymo and DoorDash actually started earlier this year, and they are looking to expand, like I said, to international cities. And they raised $16 billion to fund that expansion, and they are looking at London and Tokyo in particular to expand to next overseas. And like I said before, in 2026, they are looking to add 20 additional cities with full Waymo service. There already is some popping up in New Orleans. I was there this weekend for Mardi Gras, so I didn't see any this weekend, but I remember whenever I was visiting, I did see one or two, and I didn't even realize that they were operating in New Orleans yet, but it's a very limited basis. It's not a full-fledged service yet. But other problems that they are currently facing involve just a little bit of malfunctions when it comes to roundabouts. There have already been a couple of cases that were reported where Waymos got stuck in a roundabout and they just kept going in a circle. And one of them actually had a person in it. And he said he was stuck in there for about 7 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot. But if you're just going in a circle for 7 minutes, that can be pretty dizzying. But another problem also involves small animals. Their detection system when it comes to unleashed pets or stray animals definitely needs some work, because there was a bodega cat in San Francisco named Kit Kat who tragically was run over by a Waymo back in October, and there was a huge public outcry about this. So it definitely needs some work when it comes to the detection of small animals. And they are also under investigation for dangerous behaviors in school zones. And the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, along with the National Transportation Safety Board, have already opened these investigations into illegal behavior of Waymos around school buses. And the NHTSA also opened another investigation just last month where a Waymo reportedly hit a child near a school, and the child is fine. He only suffered minor injuries, but they said the Waymo was reportedly moving at a speed of 6 miles per hour. But still, the detection system definitely needs a lot of work. So they got to work out the kinks in all of this. But like I said, I think this is the future moving forward, only if every other car that is going on, whether it's on an interstate or just a city street, only if they are automated as well, because it's very hard to predict the human nature of drivers when it comes to traffic, and you never know what they're going to do. They make a lot of sudden lane changes and everything like that. But I think the only way this would work on a wide scale is if every single car on the road was automated, because they'd be able to communicate with each other electronically to know what the other is doing. But again, once you have that unpredictability of human drivers in there, it throws a wrench in things, obviously. But at this point, why not just invest more into public transportation? I mean, if you're just going this route and you're just clogging up the roads with all these cars, why not just make an automated bus or, just something that is able to transfer a lot of people easier?